Hi, it's Valen again. Today I'm just going to do a quick thing on yesterday's anti-budget speech protest that was arranged by, or partly by, the People's Assembly. Um, it was not as effective as it could have been, but there are a number of factors to do with that. The first factor is, well, it was a weekday, and you don't really get many people going to a protest on a weekday because even if they support you wholeheartedly, they could be working, so they can't go to it. There was also the problem that the tube strike started at 6 o'clock that evening, which was half an hour after the start of the protest, and people like to get home. Um, the other factor is, and this is the worrying thing, police interference. Not only were protesters pushed from pillar to post saying, oh, you can't put your stuff here, you have to go over to another part of the Parliament Square, and then they were told by police at that part that they had to move again. And actually, when the People's Assembly people came and put their stuff next to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, were actually threatened with a fine of up to £10,000. Seems, one, a bit excessive, and two, it's encroaching on the freedom of assembly, the freedom of protest, the freedom of speech. Another problem related to the police presence was the fact that megaphones and amplifiers were confiscated by the police. At one point, a group of approximately 25, I didn't actually see this bit myself because I was filming an interview with someone from the Balsa budget protest, up to 25 people, police officers, went to take an amplifier from someone who had set one up. Walked straight through the middle of the crowd and just took it. So the speeches that were being given by people like Jeremy Corbyn, and I think the leader of the Green Party was there, Natalie Bennett, I think it is. I do apologise to the leader of the Green Party if I've got your name wrong. But quite frankly, I associate the Green Party with Caroline Lucas, and that's not going to change, seeing as she is the only Green MP. And there was at one point when Jeremy Corbyn tried to speak, the helicopter that was monitoring events actually flew a bit lower, so you could barely hear him even if you were standing next to him. Now, that seems a wee bit coincidental for me. But you can't say for definite that it was the police. But who knows? The police could have radioed and got that helicopter to come in just to drown out someone who actually wants to speak for the people. Obviously, he's doing this to further his political ambitions, and I'm not coming out in support of his leadership campaign. I'd just like that known. But he does speak with the voice that Labour should be speaking with, which is against the cuts, not this austerity light that they were trying to sell us, that lost them a crucial amount of votes at the last election, but actually saying austerity is not needed. And it just seems very coincidental that the helicopter takes that precise moment to come down a little bit lower, a little bit closer to the Parliament Square. So don't get me wrong, it was a good event. It had hundreds of people there, which is as much as you can expect. Parliament Square is not the largest place to have a rally anyway, and the balloon release that signified the amount of people, or some of the amount of people who have died due to the welfare cuts, was brilliant. The mass die-in could have been longer, I feel. It only went on for about 5 minutes. I would have thought it would have been much better had it been longer. But then again, I was sleepy and I probably would have enjoyed the nap. But all in all, it did bring a lot of focus to the anti-austerity campaign. There were lots of media outlets there, not necessarily British ones, but the anti-austerity movement is getting noticed, if not in this country, at least around the world. And all we've got to do now is try and make sure that this country starts publicising more the fact that this government, which has only 24% of the popular vote of those who registered to vote in the last election, is actually minority interest. And the sooner people realise that, and we start getting something that's a bit more democratic in a way of a political system and electoral reform, the better this country will be. Thanks for listening.